Alright guys, so this is going to be a new video type of me breaking down fairly simple standard Premiere team comps that are easy to implement. This isn't exactly what my team is running, but something that I feel comfortable explaining, and I think a lot of teams will be able to pick up just because of how fairly simple they are. This will be Haven, and the comp is Neon, Breach, Sova, Astra, and Killjoy. You can run an Omen here, and I would say you can run a Cypher here. I would for sure run either Astra or Cypher, just so you have some sort of way to cross this without investing a whole Omen smoke here. You can technically run a Jet here, but I probably wouldn't. I think Neon is really good if you have a good Neon player. This is Duelist player playing Neon, Flex player on Breach, Initiator on Sova, Controller on Astra, or Omen if they are not comfortable in Astra. I think the Astra is a little bit better in this comp, and then your Sentinel is playing Killjoy or Cypher. So I'm going to delete Omen and Cypher. I can explain some pros and cons of them. So let's start with just like an attack. So to take A space here, I have a recon dart from here that clears almost all the sewers. There is an alternative dart which clears very similar stuff. I'll show the lineups for that. And then to take long space, you get a breach stun, and then Neon just runs up off of it. And then you can have KJ kind of doing whatever. If KJ's playing with the pack, you can throw a turret like here. And then have KJ follow up Sova. You would have Sova drone out into the site. Smokes here and here with Astra. And you also have a bunch of utility to get into the site, like a flash here is really strong with a neon wall, like so. You have neon stun for like back sight. You also have a second breach flash that you can throw back here. You have breach damage. This is typically best used to stall CT like so, if breach plays hell. You have KJ damage for post plant, Astra well for post plant as well. You have a stun that you can reactively use on an execute if they love playing like here or so. So like you have a lot of utility that you can use for execs, which makes it very strong. Another thing that makes this comp strong is the presence of 5 impact ults. With lockdown, you can pretty easily just throw ult here, get all of A for free. Let me delete some of this spare utility just to keep the clutter down. So this lockdown is very strong for executing A. Breach ult is very simple. You can ult pretty much any site and take it, like so. There's like something like this for B. You can even like have breach go sewer. Obviously a KJ or a breach ult C is also good. You have to either choose left or right side. I would probably stun like or ult like this with a neon stun like so, and maybe you can even throw an Astra concuss close, like so. So the entire site is stunned. Astra wall is also strong because you can throw an eco strat like this. Your entire team can run down this with a breach lurk main, which sounds very odd at first, but it makes sense because of the utility with this wall. You can get a stun line here, you can flash this. You just got to be careful that if breach is alone, you can also aftershock this, and basically your entire team just runs A through B, like so. It's a very effective strat. Not a lot of teams are ready for it. Sova ult, I have a set strat for as well on attack. Let me delete all this utility as well. So for this, you have breach start here, Sova start here. There's a recon Any site recon will work for this, like God Dart, God Dart. I just have like a random dart that lands like the back of the wall here. So off of the recon, you will breach stun, like off of the minimap. Your breaches are staring at the minimap, full charge stun. Say there is somebody here that gets scanned, you stun them, and then you rip Sova ult and they're stunned, so it should be an easy kill. They try to move, they don't have a lot of movement speed, and it should be an easy kill. You can then choose to fast commit C, or instead opt to rotate to like A, or just reset the round with man advantage. So that is one way to just get value on every single ultimate. Other than Neon, which is, I mean, it's basically just a gun, realistically, so like eco strats with it are nice. I'm gonna just explain like a few XX and then go into the game and show. So obviously I showed what an A exec looks like. In this comp, Astra and KJ can both be lurks, Astra being slightly better because there's no limit on her utility, unlike Killjoy. So if you were to go B, it would look something like this probably. Maybe like a recon back here, back here. Maybe you would stun or scan left side, stun right side, and then let Neon run in wherever. The Neon is pretty free to do whatever just because of the amount of utility that you guys have. And then for post plant, unless you have, like, you can damage like this. Let me clean up the utility again. If breach plays like on the headshot angle, you can throw a damage here, I believe. You have suck for post, double nano, double shock. So you have 4 post plant, which is really strong. You can also use Sova ult just for post plant as well. Breach ult you can use to get people off spike. As there's 2 types of C execs. You have the C split, where you smoke garage, and you smoke CTFC. This would probably look like this, where you have a 3-1. I'm not sure where the turret placement would be, but you would start breach like slightly to the right, stun this, have Neon run fast, breach try to follow. You get a stun either here, maybe here. Be aware if they throw trips a lot, like Cypher trips, KJ alarm bot. I mean, just be aware of the team that you're playing against. Maybe they have a turret here, maybe they have alarm bot, maybe they have trap wire, maybe they have chamber trip. Just be aware of the team that you're playing against. And then you can breach flash hard left. You can recon like this. I will show this in game. That clears all of this like front area. Your garage players need to be aware of plat because of this recon. And then off of that, it's a pretty free site. You also have Astra CCs, as in crowd control. And then honestly with site, you can just molly chokes if you really want, or you can just play post plant with them. It's kind of up to you. And then let's clear all of this and just go for a standard C hit, where you're throwing smokes here and here respectively. You're getting a Sova dart somewhere on site, possibly this one. You can stun kind of anywhere. I would probably breach stun right side, Neon stun like back plat and plat. Then Neon can slide out kind of wherever through her wall. You have Astra stun that your Neon can call for, or your IGL can call for. Maybe something here, 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 here. Again, you have a bunch of post plant. If you plant it somewhere specific, I forget how you can do it, but you can definitely breach damage for post plant as well. So yeah, that is what the attack side looks like. It's very simple. You have a lot of options. Let me boot up. I'll show each agent in role order. Actually, no. I'm gonna start with Sova, go to breach, then go to Neon, and then go to the Sentinel-esque agents. Just because I feel like that's like the most like important order. I have played this comp probably at least 20 times in scrims under several different teams. I need to switch sides. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on defense, where I show theory behind everything, show lineups behind everything. So, whoa, I did not realize I was gonna go, sorry. So you stand on this ledge and go into this corner. You aim at the middle, like little leg here. It's a 50% charge, no bounce. Let me make sure this still works. It does. It lands up here. It's kind of awkward to see. There is a small gap where you can sit here. This is what it looks like as a defender. So if like the Neon likes to come out here, or Jet, or Chamber, whatever their off role is, you have this. And then you have a Breach stun plus Neon running down here. So for Silva, what this could look like is... Wait, no, sorry. Their job. I haven't played Silva in a very long time. So this clears sewer. You have Breach stun Neon, so you don't have to watch long. You have KJ turret here watching in flank. You would have somebody with you here. You would call for somebody to watch this. You can clear this, go on top of the box, and then clear all of sight as Neon Breach are coming in long. There's a secondary dart I will show. You stand in this corner. I need to fully remember this. You line up the bottom left of the charge bar. I believe it is full charge 2 bounce. The bottom left corner of that. It is. So it lands here. This clears a lot of sewer as well. It's a very simple dart, so just you can choose one of these darts to learn if your Silva is not comfortable with learning a lot of the lineups. You can get away with only one of these. I think the first one is better, but if they are getting accustomed to it on your A hits, then it could be a good switch. Like so. Also, instead of having Neon Breach take long control, you could instead throw a Recall Star to put like basically Viper Wall pressure. I'll break down a little bit of Viper theory real quick. Basically with either this wall or this wall. I prefer this wall because it's slightly better with the KJ, but the meta Viper wall is this because it's a B exec smoke and allows you to lurk in the sewer. Basically the idea is you just counter the op line, and normally if you control this space as a defender, you can get away with one person because you have the full map control, but the Viper wall prevents you from seeing this, so you have to have a sewer player as well, which just pulls, like it holds rotates, because if you just have an op on this line, then you can have like 2, 1, 1, 1, which makes defense really easy because it's very uncommon to go B. Having a garage player is very strong because of how tight the choke is. And then C is just having 2 players there is very strong. So you want to, as an attacker, you want to smoke this off, so you have to have a sewer and a long player. As if you wall this off, you can lurk in the sewer, you can wrap the long player, or you can lurk all the way up, and this player is just oblivious. Or vice versa. You can just walk through the wall if they only have sewer player. And then the same thing is true, you can look for the kill, either way. So we want to emulate that with either Cypher in the composition, defaulting this cage, or using a Astra Recall Star here to dissipate it, which can give you pressure of being here, walking down here. Omen can kind of do this with his Shrouded Step as well by TPing here, here, and also faking it, because you cannot hear where the Omen finishes his TP, you only hear where Omen starts his TP. And if you hear Omen TP from here, you are going to assume it's one of these 2 spots. Which is why I believe you should have either Astra or Cypher in the composition. Some Omens will try to do this with a Brick Smoke, but you have to burn one of your smokes, which makes execing kind of clunky. You can also late round do it with a regular smoke like this too, which allows you to double lurk out of either long or sewer, which can be strong if it's like maybe a minute left into the round, like 40 seconds have gone by and it's been a default. You can throw this to put pressure on A, and you can either choose to pop out of this because you have the util to pop out with breach stun, breach slash, neon stun, run out, and you can honestly like re-clear sewer and stuff with that, like a drone or a dart. That is like the main theory behind this A main, A long, A sewer like thing here. So for C, there's one garage dart that you should learn. It's not very like specific at all. You just stand anywhere here really, and you aim as close to like the right of this left wall as possible, like somewhere here. To charge, aim like slightly low, and you will scan garage. Anyone like here, you can kind of throw it like anywhere, and most darts are gonna land. Just don't aim it too high or too low, apparently. If you aim like about the middle here, it's pretty good. There's always going to be a little bit of variance with it, but it's nothing too crazy. As for the recon on the garage split, it's very simple. You just look at this wall. I'm lagging right now, I apologize. Anywhere on this wall, you just aim here, let go. Okay, I'm very confused why I am lagging right now, but it is okay. You can scan all of this for info. There is a shock dart lineup. I forget where it is. I think it's like this, maybe this, and like half charge. This is to break. It's no. It might be this. No, it's definitely not that. It might be this. You stand here, aim at this top left thing, one bounce 50%. Yeah, this is to break the unbreakable cipher trip. This can also be broken with nano swarm in this composition, which is an underrated aspect of KJ, like this. Another thing that this comp has is very strong is anti-utility with Sova, KJ, and Breach, all three. For example, to counter the enemy KJ lockdown, you can use Aftershock plus 1 nano swarm. You do not need to throw it over the wall. You can just throw it at this wall. I will showcase that after I showcase Breach. Also for the Sova ult play, the recon, you stand back here. You aim at the, like, basically like the top middle of this. I believe it is a 50% jump. Like so. It lands back here. Cool, your Breach can stun off of that, which will look like this. This is Breach, and then Sova is obviously doing the same thing, just off of Sova. I think that's it for Sova theory. Actually, I will show a cool recon dart if you contact into, like, contact burst into A. This little pebble here, you line up with, and then this little thing here, you aim in the middle of it, full charge, 1 bounce, and it's a god dart for the site. This was made popular by Sadak, who was on Carmine Corps at the time. It's a very strong execute dart. If you aim too low, like if you aim below the little thing, it will mess up the dart. Like so. So you have to aim on the little... It's a little finicky. Definitely learn this in customs. Aim a little bit above it. That will be your safest bet, it looks like. Again, you just line up with this little pebble thing here. Full charge, 1 bounce, and aim just kind of high up, and it will land and clear all of sight. You definitely will need someone to be clearing sewers with this. Maybe you have like a breach stun or like a breach flash potentially. Let me see. Maybe some sort of stun like this with an aftershock flash stun. I'm not too sure, but this is a very strong execute dart if you were to just contact into A. Let me show some breach stuff now. Breach won't take very long. So conditioning A, like the A default start, you just stand in the corner. You want to, like, full charging your meter thing here doesn't matter. It just changes the range. So like full charge stun versus a tap stun is the same exact stun. So you want to do about like this, like 80%, where the stun will get this to disincentivize the op. And then your neon can just sprint at them. They also have stun if they want to, but I would probably save it for like back here with like a neon wall, stun, like so. Some cool breach stuff. You can flash like the floor because it is like slanted here, or like an elevation change. I would typically just breach flash this wall with a neon wall here, neon slide to the right, anybody here is stunned, and the wall is, say, like this. Like, say this is the wall, anyone down this line is flashed. So the neon can then, like, swing out, clear all of this. You can second breach flash to this, which clears all the back sight, with, like, a neon stun, sort of like this. And then neon can fight. You want to insert your breach hell, get a aftershock like this, unless they have a KJ with lockdown, in which case you can just aftershock. Look at the minimap, it lands here. This will not break it, it only does 80 damage. I don't remember that HP amount on the lockdown, but I know 1 molly or 1 shock dart on top of aftershock will kill it. Aftershock being breach damage. So you get that there. I think you can do something similar with the other lockdown. I don't know if the nano swarm will work on that though. Let me see. I'll show some just normal stuns. Out here for a B execute, you want to stun a line similar to this. In the Astra wall play, where you wall from here, 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 you can breach stun the line shown on screen. You can also flash for them because of the wall here. It will protect them. So let me show what this looks like a little bit better. Something like this. It's basically the same as like flashing like this. And this blinds all of this. Going for a garage split, breach come here, stun either like that or towards connector. See garage connector, which is like an 80% charge, neon run up, you know, the normal neon stuff. For a C execute, well, Silva ult play, recon, I'm holding my charge, boom, recon lands, I see one, stun, Silva ult, cool. Now for a regular C hit, I want to come here, stun like so, and get like an aftershock in this little cubby here. Make sure it's like fully cleared. You can honestly throw a gravity well into this. Gravity well plus aftershock could be a cool combo, depending on how synergized your team is. I want to see. I know there's some way that you can do it. It might be through this wall, slightly extending the range. I'm not fully sure. I thought there was a way you could do it. Maybe if your breach is like garage or something. Maybe you could have your breach play like here. I'm lagging really hard right now, I apologize. Something like this, play a one and done. Some cool breach tech. If you aftershock and flash into the aftershock, it's very hard to see the flash. So you can do something like this with your breach player, which is very hard to dodge because not a lot of people are going to realize that they are getting flashed. Like maybe something like so. I messed it up. You guys get the idea. Aftershock, flash, and the flash looks like it's just the aftershock, so it makes the breach flash basically impossible to turn. So like a good example could be like if your breach is anchoring, you do something like that and like destroy them. But as for breach util, that's really it. I'll show some breach ults. There's not really much to like break down, to be honest. Like all like this. Another thing is after you get your cooldown and your stun, you can use this to stall this line. Just throwing as much util into this little thing here is like really good. Aftershock plus flash tech is really strong here too, especially on this. As you can see, it's basically impossible to tell that there's a blind there. And like a breach ult into B can look like this. It can also look like this, depending on what the like round looks like. And just like anything like this. You can do a garage C split ult. Something maybe like this could be good, to be honest. And then there's like a standard C exec ult where you clear all of sight. Moving on to Killjoy. I think might be the next most important agent.
30 seconds left.
Or like the most tech-based agent, really. So for an A exec, this turret is really strong because it gives you the most sight, like, control. Like you can sit the most on sight. Lockdown just goes here. As for the anti-lockdown, like the lockdown that goes here, if you just molly this, it damages you, as you can see. I do want to see if a lock or a molly here will break a lockdown too. It will not. So I'm not sure how you could get a molly to do damage to that. I'm just kind of experimenting right now, trying to find. There's no way to make this go any lower. So you would kind of have to get like a Sova shock dart lineup for this. Get one shock dart to break it. A strong default for KJ could look like Alarm Bot either here. Maybe you have Astra C, KJ Garage, like Grass rather. And you have like a B player. Maybe you get like a drone, something. Maybe you breach Neon B main, KJ here, Astra, and Sova Dart A with a like recall smoke. Something like this. I don't know. I don't have like a set attack default really with this. Another thing is using nano swarms as shock darts to break trips is very strong. Like you can just get something like out here. I just went out of the bat. That's gonna miss obviously. But something like this. You can also, interesting. If they have a cipher trip like here, you can wallbang it if you like line yourself up with it. As you can see, like these are all bullets that I was like, spamming. can eventually break it if you know where the Cypher Trip is approximately. Getting rid of that Molly. You could probably learn like a Molly for B main here. Or just assume that lands like here. Get them lagging. I don't know why. Something to that effect. And then another really strong C thing is just coming here, getting your Molly to land like about here, because it will break any trip here. Typically looking at a Cypher trip. If the Cypher throws a different one, you can kind of throw it like where you think the anchor is. Again, if it's just the wire, it won't break it. It has to be like the little shootable parts for the nanoswarm to break it. For C, a turret probably like this is good, because it allows you to play the most on site as possible. You can use mollies to just delay, or you can use them for post plant. It's like the nanoswarms are very strong in this comp. I would probably use an alarm bot for post plant to like delay, kind of like VIP, where you just stall out the hit. I'm lagging a lot. Yeah, something like a turret like this is really strong because it holds this garage line, and it's hard to like peek out of this. You can maybe throw like a Astra smoke here right away as well. You have you have options like maybe Astra, KJ mid, Astra smoke here, breach neon long, Sova there sewer, and then your KJ just like comes down here, tries to take this control. You can have KJ even like come here maybe, or you can have a KJ set up kind of like this where Astra's lurking up B. I would probably have KJ do it because she's more disposable, because smokes are very important, obviously. I think this is a decent summary of attack KJ. Let's move on to, I'll go to Astra next because I think she is slightly more confusing than a Neon. Neon being a lot more straightforward. So the recall star, something like this is very strong. Recall, kind of like Pearl B long, you can get into this corner very quickly. If you have a good lurking player, it definitely makes sense to have the Astra play it. You can lurk at this, or alternatively you can lurk in the sewer with it. As you can see, boom, I'm into sewer, long player can't see me. Or you can even take this two different ways, where boom, I'm swinging this and like I'm using the recall to fight, or I'm taking an aggressive long angle. Any way you cut this, this is a very strong smoke. Again, like maybe 1 minute into the round, if you're defaulting and you want to put A pressure, or just put a lot of defense pressure, a smoke like this does very similar things. You come out of this, I would probably drone out of this to clear it, or get a recon. And the same is true, get a breach stun or a breach flash out, and you can clear this. Obviously be aware of this. Exec smokes I will go on to next. I guess a brick smoke is very good as well. Omen you have to smoke like this because the smoke has travel time. With Astra you can proper smoke it. I'm just going to recall because I don't want to sit 14 seconds here. Like so. And it's very simple, it just blocks the op. Some oppers will walk up and disrespect it, but it also gives you like lurk potential with it. Anyway, moving on to smokes, you just get a heaven smoke here, CT smoke here. Very simple, very standard smoke IQ. Stuns, like you have a bunch of different stun options. Stuff like this. Any like rat corners really. You can use suck to stall the retake as well. I think something that could be really strong, like I said before, was Aftershock and Suck. Like maybe Breach is like I'm aftershocking suck CT. Sucking, and then you get the breach damage and Astra suck. Could be very strong. Alternatively, you just use Astra for post plant. And make sure that you don't, like, let me ping this spike real quick. Make sure that you don't put the star on the spike, because it won't pull you off the bomb. You need to, what? You need to pull the player off of the bomb. Like so. Oh well, what? Okay, I just absolutely airballed everything there. Let me run that back. What an awful demonstration I just did. Let's try this again. So like so, when you're crouched, like so. So you won't be able to defuse the bomb, like so. Just having someone be vocal to like call for Astra util, or having the Astra be the IGL, I think both make sense. B smokes. You can throw both of these. You can throw a one-way towards C-Link. Something like that. You can see some feet. This is too big. This works on Omen, but not Astra. So you have to kind of throw it a little bit weirdly. But it kind of just puts pressure on the C-Link players. It makes retaking harder. You can also do... This is better on Omen, with like a TP here. I need to wait for the smoke. While I wait for smokes, you can call for stuns, like maybe here, with your neon. Maybe something gong, either a suck or a stun. Okay, like I was saying though, Omen can smoke this and use it as a one-way. This is typically best on like the second wave of smokes. You hold this and then have somebody watch CT. And you have like, assume you have 5 people alive, you have 3 people playing post plant. Probably have KJ turret here, KJ playing here, Breach playing here, you have Aftershock off of this little thing here. And then Astra, well no, you want to have Astra. Probably Neon holding this, Omen up here, leaving Sova back main with shock darts. Garage split smokes, you just smoke like this. That way it blocks off this, and you clear all of this, and then you smoke C-Link, or CT rather, to block the flood into the site. Basic smoke theory. See, you can get a top C smoke like this. I need to restart the round. This gives you orb control, allowing you to grab allowing you to grab ult orb, especially in a comp where you have 4 impact ults minus neon. Impact ult being like round winning execute ultimates, in my opinion, is how I describe impact ults. They heavily impact the state of the round. Grab orb, like say you can grab KJ orb here, go A, lock down A, or get breach orb, breach all into C, get Astra wall, go into a B split or A split through B. I think that's a bit extreme, but could definitely throw some teams off. Basic C execute smokes like so. Boom, boom. For Astra, let me show the Astra wall. Actually, let me show an eco strat. This is something you can do if you lose pistol on attack. You just double smoke this, clear garage, get like a Sova dart somewhere. Smoke a little bit farther back, that way there's not as much of a like lip. You can jump in here, and then you can either re-smoke this or just fight this. Smoke either this, or you can neon wall out, to be honest. There's no cracks, so you can't wall over anything. But like maybe use neon wall like this, and you can either go C or CT spawn. But if you sit in window long enough and somehow get time to resmoke, you can do the same thing, or you can flood CT backside, C backside, or go CT spawn. This would definitely throw a lot of defense teams off. This for me originally this was like so, where we then try to take backside B, plant sort of open, and then we can play post plant from like here and on site. But as teams have gotten better, like ecoing into garage is more and more expected, so it kind of throws off like the shock value rather. You can also try to do like Astra Wall play with smokes, kind of the same idea. You just run to A with it. It's obviously not as good and is a lot more obvious just because you have full audio versus having the Astra Wall deafen audio. Yeah, as for Astra, I think that's pretty much it. It's a lot of your either IGL or your Neon going to be calling for utility like reactive stars, like stuck this, done this, just basic stuff like that. You could default a smoke here as well. Have KJ lurk up here with like a turret here, as I said before. This just puts a lot of pressure on the B players because you can walk out of the smoke like, you can walk out like this, or you can walk out like this, or like this, or like this, and then like it's impossible to hold this, so you kind of just have to give up B. So that's a very strong default smoke. You can even do it a little bit closer. That might be too close. Yeah, that's way too close. But if you give yourself a little pocket to like walk out in front too, that could be really good. Something like so. A cool thing that you can use the suck for is if the enemy team has a KJ turret they're crutching on, you can use the gravity well to pull it. Like say, this is only really applicable for this turret. Let's say they have the turret here. You can pull the turret down. Like so, I believe. Or, for instance, on this one as well. It will pull the turret off. Overall, you can just use the turret to like disrupt, or the suck to disrupt the turret. Then let's move on to Neon. Neon shouldn't take too long, because it's more so just showing how you like execute and dash in. So breach stun, Sova dart, and you're just jumping around. Make sure you clear this. You do have stun to clear this if need. Preferably you would save that. You can also use a gravity well on this. Again, the wall would look like something like this. Make sure you aim over this box, because if you hit the box, it will stop the wall in its tracks. Quick Neon lesson: if you aim over a wall, the wall will go through the wall. Like the Neon wall will go through the in-map wall, but if you hit a wall with your fast lane, it will stop the wall. It's very confusing to explain, talking about walls hitting walls, but I just misclicked. Oh. But like so. Like I think this is a decent showing. This works basically everywhere. Like even if it doesn't make sense for the wall to go where it does. Maybe you can use something like this. The farther back you are from the wall, the more it will extend, and the less range you have to waste going upwards. Like this is like the most extreme example. So you want to aim as low as possible on a wall, so you use the least amount of like distance. It looks like that hit something. I'm not sure why that is working. There we go. Something like so. Where you can use this in ways that you would not really expect if you don't play Neon or you don't have like a lot of understanding on how Neon works. So with that very long-winded lesson. This like wall, something like this, you get the breach stun or breach flash rather here, and you can stun like so, and you can like flash. Let me redo this. Wall, you keep your hands up, flash right. I messed that up. You swing out here, and you can stun like this, or you can stun like that. Also, if you throw your stun really high, it will go all the way down and stun the like first point going down it hits. So if you want to stun this top box, you can throw your stun up here, which is a very useful thing to know if you are able to see something, but you want to stun something else. Like if I want to stun top box from long, I can. And the same is true, like I can bounce stuff off of it, like so. And I think I can stun both here and here if I aim in like the middle. I might be wrong. No, it's very specific. The overall neon exec looks like so. Breach flash, swing, you can stun. Typically you'll have neon go hell. This is a very strong stun line where you stun back sight, the wall would still be up, and the second stun goes into CT. And you can like make way for your breach. You can swing off of like breach flash, breach stun, breach damage, whatever. That's basically A, fully explained. B, it's very simple. You choose, the neon has to be vocal here, like scan left, stun right, or vice versa. Scan left, stun right, or scan right, stun left, sorry. And you swing off of whichever piece of utility you are more confident in. You can also throw like, stuff like this, just taking advantage of like the angle of the wall. It's like some basic geometry shit, like so. Also, if you want to stun gong, it's very easy. Just aim up here, or like so. So watch out for, this is a good example of this stun logic, where you can stun this, this will stun main. Wait, what? That's a slanted wall. So like so, which is a very high stun. More neon logic, you stun, or like exec stuff, you stun like this, you can jump out, you can swing, like slide out, cool. You get said recon dart here, you wall out, and you can kind of go wherever you feel like the most comfortable or you want to clear. This, you can just double stun the corner, clear it, and then like come out. You wouldn't have stun realistically. And C exec looks like so. You, if they have a cipher, you need to make sure your Sova Breach or KJ are burning the trips. So this is probably what it would look like. You can slide out either left or right side. Make sure you have a Sova Dart going like one side. So you'd obviously have smoke. You gotta be aware of log, CT if you do this, and backside. Another stun that you can do is something like so. Clearing all of this. You just get like a Sova Dart back plat then. But making sure you get like a stun on one side of the wall and a recon on the other side of the wall. Like you stun red ping, scan left, or green ping. And there's not really much to go off with neon ult. I think this summarizes everything on attack. I'm trying to look over everything. I guess I'll show the neon pathing for this A split. So insta 0-second barrier drop, Astral Wall comes up, breach util. You would probably just come out here, and you have util. Like the neon can reactively throw utility. It doesn't really matter fully. Like so. Let's go to defense now. After a 50-minute attack start. So defense is a little bit more like straightforward, I would say. The main things that you really want to be prioritizing, in my opinion, is KJ having strong map control of taking 2 lanes if possible. Let me stop that. So I would look at possibly set up like this if you want to play like more standard, where you have 2 KJ mid 2. This is very like decent setup where you want to just like not aggro and you just want to like let the round come to you. Or if they're playing like very defaulty, it's very simple. You just get the Astra as a side anchor and you get like a Sova Dart. You want to lean heavily into an op in this case if you play slower, where you can stun into a, unless they have a Viper. If they have a Viper, then it's very hard to lean into an op on this map. But you can stun for your Neon, slide out with, or swing out with an op. KJ set up like so. Sova Dart for early info C, and you have Astra util to like be very self-sufficient here. Site smoke to just live. Main smoke obviously to stall, suck to stall / play for yourself. Stuff like that. Say they break the turret, you have Sova come out like logs probably and drone re-clear it, and then try to insert someone in the space to just fill the gaps in the map. This is a very simple like, setup. You can flip everything as well. Have Astra Sova. I'll show some lineups. I did not mean to delete Breach. But you can simply just switch these 2 and get like a deep star here, or a deep dart here rather. Honestly, if you want, you can go for like something kind of aggressive with a Neon op. You get a stun like this, and you just like walk down. You can have Breach proc a flash here, or like be ready to throw flash off of whatever. Again, this is not the most common way that I would play the map. Like, if they don't, like if you want to play aggressive, this comp is very strong at playing aggressive. Like leaning heavy into setups sort of like this, where you have like a KJ solo holding A, you throw like 3 on B here, or C rather, you can recon like far down, Breach stun, you have Neon run down, stun, and you like just bring the aggression to them, the other team. You use Astra and KJ as like double sentinel kind of, where they're both like anchoring their own spot. I find it easier having aggro in C. I find the hardest because KJA is kind of clunky because you have too many gaps, it feels like. You could alternatively do something like this, where you have an Astra playing B, KJA, and you have Breach go Garage with like Sova and Neon walking down. Let's get into some things with this. So, some strong op lines. I think I'm gonna just continue with Neon. So op lines are very strong if you can abuse them. You can like walk down like so, get a kill, dash off. You have stun and wall to like live. This op line is very strong because it is very like fast. You can walk up, get a kill, dash off, and just live. You can also like put yourself in a decent spot to go for another. Walking down B main is decent. Either this or smoke window. Cool. And then you have double op line on A. Boom. And like so. Obviously with an op setup, you're not going to be taking aggression and you're going to be relying more on just trading utility and like stalling out the other team with the excessive utility that your team has. Like with KJ, say you have KJ A, you're taking an offline C, you're getting an early recon C for your Neon, Breach is holding Garage, Neon or Astra's holding B. You just want all of your teammates to live, look for the first blood with the Neon op. You can kind of switch this any way, really. Like maybe you have something like this, where you have Neon walking down, going for this line, Astra Smoke. You can kind of just flip this around any way, really. I want to do some. I want to break down some aggressive plays, because I think that's the most fun on the map, especially towards like A, where you do something like so, where you have the double initiator and Neon as like the big three, and you have double anchors like elsewhere, with like a KJ turret here, alarm bot here, Astra with full setup on C, and then these three are taking space down A. I'll show a Sova dart for this as well. Recon goes here, and then you all three come down aggro. With that, you just throw yourself here, follow this up. You have stun for yourself as well if you need, and you can kind of just ride this out as far as you want, or you can get this space, say you Sova, insert yourself here. We are going to give up A, as in me and Breach, and we're going to get out of here, and we're going to have strong B, 1 Garage, strong C, or like 1B, 1 Garage, 2C, something like that. And like be ready for basically anything. If our A player inserted here sees anything or hears anything, then we know that we can rotate back. So that looks like this. Both of these players shifting. KJ probably shifts. Probably looks like this, where Sova is inserted here. We can also go for like flanks now. It's because we have so much control. Similar idea exists for like running down C, as I shown. Get like a recon out here. You want to stun deep, and you want to neon stun close. I'll show this neon stun. It is like so. And it stuns all of this close, and then this line will be breach stunned as well. All of this will be breach stunned, and so the neon is free to just walk down and like be free to pop off. You get like a recon dart here. You can do the same thing garage. Get smoke. You get a breach stun down this line. Neon can also throw a stun like so. You just bounce it off of this high wall, run down, you have smoke here. Get a recon out like here. You can simply just double bounce a dart like this, and then from here we'll go here. You can do this with an op, honestly. And then let's get into the fun play called Fnatic play, where you have, I'm trying to think, I guess you would probably want to have a KJ towards right side, breach, neon, something like this. Let me clean all the stuns up. You get a recon out here. I need to remember that, like where that goes. You can get a breach stun down this line, have breach follow the neon, and you want to basically just full crunch this space. Anything in garden is just done for. If they are going A, it's basically over for them, and then if they are going C, you have flank potential, or you can come out garage and you can help your KJ holding C. Let me switch to Sova for this so I can find the recon dart.
30 seconds left. Thrifty. 30 seconds left.
I'll show the recon lineups that I feel are important. So the standard A lobby dart, you stand here. It's full charge, one bounce. In between these two little wood pillars, there's a little like outline you can go off of as well. It's very simple. There's a different dart that lands up here that you can probably find. I don't know it off the top of my head. I just know this one because it is so simple. But to find the dart for the Fnatic play, it is something like this. Yeah, kind of like that. I need to... Let me throw the barrier back here. So I think you can do it off barrier. You want to aim slightly to the right here. That's 50%, no jump. And it lands perfectly. I'm going to clip that for later, because I need to remember that lineup. Throw that in the lineups folder. And then with that being said, you neon wall, and you can breach stun. So this comes out. And with the Fnatic play, you can also throw in like a Sova ult, or in the case of B, you can throw breach ult into this as well. So those are two lineups. Like I said before, for fighting grass rather, dart like this, good enough. There's a really cool dart, but I don't know if I remember it. I want to say it's something like this. No, that's too high. Oh yeah, okay, so it's an invisible dart, essentially. So to zoom in, there's this little like thing here, and there's this one. It's the top one. It's kind of hard to see. It's right here, and you just full charge aim at that. And it looks like invisible, but this dart will scan anything out here. That's a really good lineup. And this will be used like with... Where is it? Is it this? I already forget it. Holy. It's right here. Okay, cool. Wait, what? I messed it up, I think. Yo, I just clipped it. Okay, cool. So you stand in this corner. You aim at the top little leaf thing. It's slightly longer than everything else. And then your neon can run up here. We'll scan everything close lobby. There is a little bit of a blind spot like close like this. But realistically, unless they have an omen, you shouldn't be worried about that. You can use Sova ult to deny post plant. Like so. Or not post plant, deny plants. Another use case is breaking lockdown, like so. Basically, you just trade lockdown for Hunter's Fury. This is much better as an attacker though, because this ult, you get 3 pulses, and it's down like this line, which is really strong. Which makes retaking like, because you're all going to be retaking through CT, and now you have a Sova ult coming your way, as you can see. And you can even throw like a breach stun to that if you want. Retake dart, it's nothing like crazy really. You just throw like a dart or something like this. C dart for like retake. You can kind of just wing anything. Even some like, even like just like a freehand dart works for this. You can kind of like, if you're comfortable in Sylvie, you can kind of just guess your way into this. The main dart was just like, and that might miss. Wait a minute. No, it did. It's just because I'm not in the barrier. Just get comfortable with this, and you can like really throw off teams. I don't think a lot of teams would be expecting garden crunches. Showing breach. This is what Fnatic play looks like from breach POV, where you can like ult down. You might want to come out behind neon like so, and you have Neon go far right. And you have the dart, you can throw a Sova ult into this, with Neon sliding out here. Defense trap play that you can do with KJ turret is, if you have like a turret for this, that's not a turret. If you have turret watching this, and you have Breach playing B-Link, you can throw a stun, and you can have like KJ ratting in the corner, and you can swing off of the stun, as the turret will like tell Breach to stun. You want to stun a little bit farther back, and then KJ can swing out with like a stinger or something. It's a very strong eco play. You can have like KJ A, Astra C, Sova C, I guess Neon B/Garage. Something like this. It's very strong. Astra, I don't really need to go much into detail with. I would use Astra Wall like this to just block off main for C for retake, or like this for a retake on A, just blocking off main, making post plan impossible. Same thing is true for A. There's no like really crazy Astra smokes I can think of on defense off the top of my head. I'll showcase some Neon stuff and then close it up from there.
30 seconds left. Last round before the
Another thing you can do with Neon is like wall over like this. This is very strong for like retaking. If you want to like throw off the other team, something like this, and you can like stun if you still have it. Can take a lot of aggressive space. Yeah, for Fnatic play, you could do something like this. You have the ult come out. There's not really much more I need to go over on defense. I'll do some ult theory with this, and then I think that's probably it that I need to go over. One second. I need to check my notes for this video, see if there's anything I'm forgetting. So the background setup, retake it with lockdown. Okay, so yeah, with ults, retaking A with lockdown is very strong. You can have like KJ play solo heaven just for info, like full info A. You can have KJ like run off like, oh, they're coming A for the info, and you can recon, or you can lock down this. You can use Sova ult to stall plants. Like, this is the main use case for Sova ult, or breaking a lockdown in my opinion. Like so. I mean, you can do the same thing with Breach ult. I wouldn't want to use Breach ult on A, just because lockdown C isn't good. So I would want to use Breach ult for C if possible, because lockdown A is really strong. I'll showcase some KJ stuff. That's the character I wanted to show, not Neon.
30 seconds
I
left.
just got my stuff flipped.
Switching sides. Match point.
One thing I think could be really strong is if you are playing retake on A, you can throw a turret like this, and then you have KJ play like, you can even do something like this where you alarm bot this, play B, and then you're covering technically 4 lanes on the map with double A coverage, garage coverage, B coverage. Give yourself a breach B. Let me clean up some utility real quick. All of this. And you could like legit have a 0-2-0-3. Obviously 6-5 0 2 0 3, and you have like enough people to fight this garage, and you're playing retake on A, so you don't need people there with lockdown. You would only really do something like this when you have KJ ult, and if you're feeling risky, you can do it with Breach ult. And obviously trying to cycle your ults as fast as possible is a good thing, just because you have 4 ults that you want to cycle out. Yeah, so
Recalling my boss.
another strong thing that you could do is have a setup like this,
Turret out.
where you have KJ turret watching C.
Turret out.
You can also throw it like this so it watches garage and C long. And if you have like a neon op protecting the turret, you have KJ holding garage. Maybe go for something like this.
Swarm grenade.
And you can have Sova, Astra, maybe Breach on A with like strong side A. And just like abusing the fact that KJ can hold a lane and have 2 trips holding other lanes. Something like this. Maybe you give yourself an Astra Star here as well, like pull, like pull double doors. Something like that. And just like overall, you have a lot of creative freedom just because of the sheer amount of utility. A lot of your teammates can call for each other. They can set each other up. Like Astra can be like, I'm gonna stun this, swing this. Neon can make plays, Breach can make plays. Sova, Astra, KJ, like all of your teammates can give each other utility. So it's just a matter of like making plays off of each other and working well together. I think this is a overall pretty good summary. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave them down in the comments below. I will try to help address like any questions you guys have and like try to clear up any things. Just like let me know if this is something that I should continue to do, because I think this is something that's very fun, like explaining map theory behind like fairly simple comps to just have like to give teams like strong baselines on maps that they can fall back onto without like necessarily giving up my own like team comps, team strats, like stuff like that. I could do this with like old team comps I have, or stuff like that, comps that don't even work because of how agents have been changed. But with that being said, join the Discord. We're close to 400 members. We're trying to hit that, then 500, hopefully 1,000 eventually, and just keep going from there. Like, subscribe. I'm trying to post more content, just more frequently. Follow me on Twitch. I stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time using Restream. Follow my Twitter, and that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.